Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 104 to 119 loss to the Golden State Warriors. Now, Riker, we will have some takes about this game, obviously, as we always do, but I just want to say we can't overreact because the Golden State Warriors have been doing this to every single team in the league this year. So it's there's definitely some frustrations going to be vented, but we have to preface it all with saying the Golden State Warriors are a truly amazing team.
Well, of course, and they have one of the greatest players of all time, but that doesn't excuse getting absolutely annihilated by Andrew Wiggins, by leaving Jordan Poole wide open all game because you're insisting on double teaming Steph Curry or playing zone, on not making any switches, on being timid. This is the recurring criticism of the Raptors whenever they play Golden State Warriors, being timid in the lane. I get Draymond Green is always at the top of DPOY ladder, that he's one of the best positional defenders and switchable guys in the entire NBA, perhaps history, but that he's still smaller than people. He still only jumps straight up, Euro step, pump fake, hop step. There's a ton of different moves you can pull out of your bag to score in the post, not just throw up these wild, sissy, whiny, crybaby shots like Siakam and Barnes and everyone was doing. This game was disgusting to watch, Ben. I hated every second of it. That's it. That's my rant. That's my rant, baby. It was tough. I didn't enjoy it at all.
Yeah, no, it was. That's why I wanted to preface this video, because you and I are both going to be frustrated and sad about this, and we have a super chat coming in from Marcel Martin, and he's calling for the kazoo, Riker, and I'll play the animation. No, should we even play it? Are we going to curse the Raptors with this animation? Is it too early to throw it out there, even though both you and I don't want us to tank whatsoever? Is it bad karma if we throw out the kazoo this early in a podcast, this early in the season?
Is it too early to throw out the kazoos? Nah.
No?
Well, yeah, it is. You throw them out because people have been asking for them, begging for them. Marcel Martin's been out here super chatting for them, but
we'll throw it out. We'll throw it out. The kazoos are playing. The kazoos are there in the background because the Raptors, that's how they're making us feel as of late. Now, they did get a nice win against the Sacramento Kings. Gotta give credit where credit's due. We got Luke Walton fired, and big news also, we're revamping Courtside Digest with a new sort of format and all that, so definitely check out the video over there we posted today, and a lot more to come on that channel, so I'm gonna plug that a couple times in this video. But the Raptors, they're making us feel sad on this West Coast road trip. And Riker, for all the things that you mentioned, right, the Draymond Green, him just being, we were afraid of Draymond Green in here, and I don't get it, because Pascal Siakam hit a game-winning shot to win an NBA championship, essentially. It was basically a game winner, a dagger down the stretch of a game with a floater over Draymond Green. So I feel like when you do that once, for an NBA championship, you should be able to get in there and finish in the lane. But Pascal tonight, and this is not a slandering pods on Pascal Siakam, because 21 points, 6 rebounds, a couple of assists. He wasn't horrible. 8 of 17 from the field tonight, but I feel like he's cursed occasionally around the rim. He has so many finishes that just go in and out. Like, it's a weird thing to see, Riker. Pascal get decent shots, but then miss around the rim so much.
Well, I'm going to draw the line, though, at the right shot selection. I get that he's putting shots up and they're going around the rim, but again, I made the comment over on our courtside video was that obviously people are not going to admit that the expectations weren't high at the beginning of the season for the Warriors, but they weren't. And one of the reasons was because while they have good defense, right, they're weaker right now at that forward center spot than they have been historically within the last couple of years. And they make up for it on Team D. But we thought that Scottie Barnes being much taller and longer, Pascal Siakam being tall and long, right, even I'm going to forget his name right now, Kem Birch those guys should have had better looks around the rim. And the simple fact is, when they would get even close to the paint and Draymond Green would put a body on somebody, they would bounce off like they've never hit the weights or the lifting room in their entire life. And they'd throw up these ridiculous hook shots and ridiculous layups that made no sense whatsoever. Draw a foul, right? Get blocked from time to time, but make the defenders challenge you at the rim. They were throwing up garbage and it was tough to watch. And I didn't like how we didn't adjust our offensive sets as the game went along to account for why are our bigs not getting good shots up in the lane, Ben. This one, it was a real shocker to me.
Yeah, it's even if you lose, you want to be able to, as you said, get those finishes around the rim, get at least good shots, make it a game. But there was one guy that I thought played well. We're gonna mix this Paul with some good and some bad. We'll get to the defense. The chat is talking, but I saw 1-800-Lunatic bring up some precious propaganda in the chat, and I'm back on the bandwagon. I never really left, but I can't spew my propaganda while Precious is playing poorly. But I thought he played a solid game tonight, Riker. He was one of the few bright spots in this one. 12 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, hit a 3 in this game, and I thought he looked like one of the guys that wasn't really scared. I guess Precious is never really scared to do anything on the court. He goes up in the fast breaks, drives the lane, shoots those floaters, and I thought he did a good job finishing around the rim tonight. 5-9 from the field, obviously. It's nice to see him hit a 3. What'd you see from Precious in this game? And obviously, defensively, he does do a great job there, even though he's a little bit undersized.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see a ton from him. I guess the minutes that he was playing, I was mentally zoned out of this one. But if you're saying it, I'll believe it. It's nice to get good production from him, especially how he's been in a rut. He's been in a rut, Ben. And so if you're spewing the propaganda and he's starting to come back to form, then that can only be a positive signal for the Toronto Raptors. Marcel Martin coming out here, hot take. I think it's worth talking about again in this one because Luke Walton got fired. Marcel Martin saying Nick Nurse might be next. I think that's jumping to conclusions here. Maybe we're getting too fast onto the hate train. I think we'll have to slow that train of thought down, Ben. But is it worthwhile mentioning? Well, it's absolutely worthwhile mentioning that the defense tonight, not just on an individual basis, but as team scheme, was just so dreadful and anybody could have been like, let's stop double teaming Steph Curry all game. Let's stop leaving 3-point shooters wide open. Let's rotate our schemes a little bit better. Let's not play zone defense, man. What was Nick Nurse and Bjorkgren thinking? Because this was crazy. This was just nonsense coaching.
Bjorkgren, Adrian Griffin, the training staff, whoever came up with we usually do our segments and used to be at the end, now at the early middle because our last 2 minutes early, but I'm throwing out the golden kazoo early because the defense makes absolutely no sense. I had a little tirade after our loss to the Pistons saying, if Cade Cunningham is hitting threes, if Killian Hayes is hitting threes, why are you running zone? It makes no sense. And I was frustrated and I was angry. And, maybe you think Cade and these guys are not going to hit threes because they're not usually that consistent. And fair enough if that's your game plan. But do you know what team does hit their threes, Riker? Do you know what team is known for splashing down threes? The Golden State Warriors. And running a zone against Golden State. They were in a 2-3 zone at some point, which obviously leaves the 2 wing spots, 2 of the most deadly positions on the court, right, just open at the start. So then you're scrambling to cover those wings, and then the deep corner threes are just left completely naked, right? Andrew Wiggins didn't have people within 13 feet of him when he was in the corner just hoisting them up. Right? Otto Porter Jr. got open threes. Jordan Poole ended up making 8 threes, which I believe is a career high. I'm not 100%. I believe I saw that thrown up on the graphics. We did a good job, and Nick Nurse's schemes always do a good job at locking down the top guy on the other team. But I feel like over the years, people have probably figured out that, okay, if you, swing the ball a little bit and it goes to the corners, especially with the Raptors' new sets that they've been running this season a lot, the corner threes are just completely open. Matt Devlin was even roasting the team. How many times have we said that tonight? Open corner 3 for the Golden State Warriors. It's literally the shot in basketball that analytics say is the most effective shot on the court, right? And we're giving it up to one of the best 3-point shooting teams of all time.
It's not the best. It's not the most effective shot on the court. It's the most effective 3-point shot because you're closest to the
most
basket.
valuable. Because you're getting 3
You said
points.
effective.
It's pretty. Yeah, well, effective in terms of upping your score, upping that value.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
All right, I see what you're saying. But yes, Andrew Wiggins, 6 3-pointers made. Jordan Poole, 8 3-pointers made. Otto Porter Jr., 5 3-pointers made. For all intents and purposes, they held Steph Curry to 2 for 10 from the field. But who cares? Who cares when you're giving up all these shots? He's more than willing to be a passer. He was probably relishing that he didn't have to score as much as he normally does in this game. A bunch of people are commenting saying Nick Nurse's defense is dumb, and we would have to agree in this one. And if it doesn't get better, maybe we will start looking at the coaching staff a little bit more often on this podcast. But Ben, Paul Blunt coming in with a blunt take, as he's known for. Send out Gary Trent Sr. I guess we're just looking for offense from different guys and different ways.
Bring them in. Beat LeBron to playing with a father-son duo on the court at the same time. But yeah, that's speaking of LeBron, crazy play there. Crazy just elbow and Isaiah Stewart. But we won't get into that. We'll leave that for the post game. But Ryker, I honestly, we're out of sync. The Raptors are out of sync. I titled this video Yikes. So may as well just do the segments all completely out of order. And tonight, the OG's play of the day, because while we're on the topic of defense, right, you're bringing up double teams on Curry. And you know what? Fair enough. It's Steph Curry. If you want to double team Steph Curry and you have some good schemes to guard everyone else, that's cool. Or box one, whatever you want to rock with, Nick Nurse. But double teaming Draymond Green on the wings is literally the most stupid thing you can do in basketball. Because the guy took 3 shots tonight, 1 of 3. All he does is pass. It's the only thing he does on the basketball court on the offensive end. He doesn't shoot it. He doesn't look to score. He could be underneath the lane and Ben Simmons it to whoever, to Matisse Thybulle, right? That's the new meme for that now. Draymond Green. Why on earth are we doubling Draymond Green on the wings? I saw it twice tonight. Twice.
Draymond Green's the guy who doesn't want to shoot on that team. And Nick Redas, 25M, coming in saying Raptors, ironically, are a defensive-minded team with little to no D. Lock emoji. Well, here's the thing. They're not a defensive-minded team. They are a team of collective, individually talented defenders which have no defensive cohesion. They have not played good team basketball in what seems like at least 5 games, and it is very haunting to watch in a negative way. Because when you have guys that are long and athletic, like Scottie Barnes, OG, who's obviously out with injury, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, who locks up Steph Curry, and Gary Trent Jr., who's number 1 or number 2 defensive player of the year ranked guy right now, you think you'd have better net team defense, and it just isn't there. And that is a coaching issue. That's not a player issue, because that's where you're supposed to have better sets and better analysis of the game, like Ben just provided, and he's only a fan watching this game.
Yeah, it's I don't know. And we give Nick Nurse a long leash, given the fact that he won us a championship. He did an outstanding job coaching this roster the year after Kawhi left. Right, we did a really good job playing in the bubble. He really got the most out of that team. Obviously, last season, it's tough to really... The Raptors were overtly tanking, especially the second half of that year, and we made that push. But right now, we're visually seeing poor schemes run out there on the court, and we've always had the excuse. Nick Nurse likes to try different things and do these different things on the court, which we love, because you find the gems in the regular season, for trying different things. Especially with the young roster, you don't mind them throwing different stuff out there, running different lineups and schemes and all that sort of stuff. But if you're consistently doing something that doesn't work, then you're going to get criticized. And that's when, if it becomes a repeated pattern where you're doing the same things, right, running the zones and leaving these corner threes completely open game after game after game, that's when the criticisms, and that's when everything's going to... all the rapport you built up with the fan base and all that in the past will start to be criticized and all that sort of stuff. But I'm not jumping on the hate wagon too early. People are saying fire Nick Nurse. I wouldn't be jumping on that just yet. But yes, you do have to criticize the things that just aren't working. But Ryker, there were some other guys that played in this game, and tonight, do you want to get a little drum roll going? A little drum roll.
Silent drum roll.
I'm getting the noise. Riker, because tonight the Scottie Barnes Award, it's going to Scottie Barnes. Now, I know he dealt with foul trouble early, and specifically in the second half, right? In the first half, didn't really get his game going. But there was a stretch in the third quarter where we saw an emerging star, right? He started to hit it. I believe he had 2 threes. 2 threes, was finishing around the rim, got an and one, and then, I guess to harp on Nick Nurse even more, just took him out and didn't play him until 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I know he didn't have the greatest plus minus and the bench was rolling pretty good, but Scottie Barnes in that third really kept us going. I was surprised to see other guys in when Scottie Barnes sort of had his game going, but even when the shots aren't going down for Scottie, he still had 13 rebounds in this game with 5 assists, some gorgeous no-look passes. Definitely deserving of the Scottie Barnes Award tonight, Riker.
Yeah, kind of didn't zip past, but it was a while ago. Oh, Joe Simpson. Barnes is being used like a bum role player. Sad to see, man. I do agree with that because Scottie Barnes has gotten the Scottie Barnes Award almost every single night. And because he's deserved it almost every night, he typically looks like our best two-way player on the team. He stretched the floor tonight, showing that he does have enough of a jump shot, not broken, that he can hit the NBA 3. And we know what he can do when he's looked at that high post spot, because he'll just take it. He rips towards the basket and he can finish in a couple of different ways. Doesn't have post moves, but he has the athleticism and finish and touch around the rim that he can get those baskets. But it does seem like as the season is progressing, we're looking to use Barnes less and less and less. And I think that that's the unfortunate byproduct of Pascal Siakam basically being that same position as Scottie Barnes. And that's another instance where we need to look at Nick Nurse and the coaching staff to come in and define their roles. Tell them what they need to be doing and where on the court. Be a coach and coach the players, because if we're going to see the hindrance of Scottie Barnes' development, we know what Pascal Siakam can do. If he's not going to perform, I'm ready to move on from him. Not saying that that's where we're at, but Scottie Barnes, we're only just seeing the first little step of his long road in the NBA. So to really hold him back this year would be a crying shame, Ben.
Yeah, it's we want Scottie Barnes to almost be our number one option, right? Honestly, I think given the start of the season, we'd probably prefer him to have the ball and have those straight line drives that he was given occasionally in the few games. When we were on that 5-game win streak, Scottie Barnes was being given the ball more and more often. Nick Nurse had quotes saying he'd rather see Scottie Barnes shoot more than 17 shots in a game, right? He wants him to be more aggressive. And then Siakam comes back and he has nights like tonight where he only shoots 11 shots. Now, I know he did play less minutes, 28 minutes due to foul trouble, and I guess that messes up your sort of rhythm and all that. So, but when this becomes a trend, as it has sort of been, it hasn't been overtly crazy, but his numbers, as you said, are dwindling by the game. And we have OG's shots who are knocked out of this game as well. So it sucks. It sucks because he just seems a lot more fluid, much more. Someone said that in the chat earlier, Siakam's not a hooper. Now, I disagree with that, but usually hooper means, in the general sense, but in NBA, he's definitely in the general sense a hooper, but in the NBA sense, right, there's those guys that can, just have a feel for finishing around the rim. They have that finesse, that star power, even if they're not necessarily talented. Like Jamal Crawford was a hooper, right? He could finish, finesse, and all that sort of stuff. Scottie Barnes has that, and the physical attributes of a superstar. So even if he's not there at the level of just raw skill of a Siakam or any of those guys just yet.
I don't know if you're trying to compare Scottie Barnes to Jamal Crawford.
No.
Jamal Crawford's nice with it, but Scottie Barnes, he's not that.
Yeah,
that's a weird comparison to me.
I'm saying, like, that hooper mentality where he can finish. He knows he can control his body. He just gets in the right spaces. I'm not comparing their games by any means, but, some people just have that it factor. And I feel like they don't have to be a superstar, but Scottie Barnes has that paired with this sort of defensive caliber, the long athleticism that could potentially turn him into a star, paired with those hooper abilities.
Yeah, fair enough. And, this is kind of the high of the podcast, talking about the positives that happen. So we might as well jump into the spicy Pile. Again, we're doing these out of order because I don't remember the reason you gave. But Ben, do you have a spicy Pile? Does it go to that stretch of 3 possessions where Pascal Siakam had the 2 tray balls and a nice and one finish? Unfortunately, couldn't convert on the free throw. Or did you have a more specific play in mind?
Yeah, he had a couple no-look passes as well. Scottie Barnes had some good moments in this, but Just one moment. Chris Boucher, Malachi Flynn getting a steal and then handing it off to Chris Boucher, who had a Julius Irving finger roll. Every time Chris Boucher does something fast, it's always exciting to see. So had a little finesse finger roll. I'm impressed that Boucher has bounced back from his struggles early in this year. Outside of Delano Banton had the highest plus minus in this game, 10 points, 5 rebounds. And I thought outside of the weird offensive fouls Delano Banton was getting tonight, I thought he played a really good game as well. Right, I guess that's control and all that sort of stuff. But anything out of those guys, or really anyone off the bench, right? Svi Mihailu did have a little bit of a better game tonight. Just an excuse to throw out this VG animation. Well, what are your thoughts on the bench roster right now?
Can we play the Golden Kazoo award because it ties into one of our bench players for me in this particular game?
Okay.
So we have the no longer the Damari Carroll Gold Star Award for worst performance. Now it's the Paul Pierce Golden Kazoo for worst performance in this one. We've brought back the kazoos at the beginning of this game, but then typically it goes to a player for an overall bad performance, but instead it's going to go to a sequence of basketball in this one. And it's because if you watched our courtside video or any of our videos where we've talked about the Golden State Warriors, it's that I'm baffled by the fact that Juan Toscano Anderson, 6'7", 6'8", comes off the bench and he guards centers. And it's not at the detriment of the team. But I said this shouldn't be the case, and particularly the Raptors should have a good time in trying to score in the lane tonight. But that wasn't the case for the recipient, Chris Boucher, when he went out there. Not only did he get blocked twice on one possession when he had a wide open layup, it was twice in a row by Juan Toscano Anderson. You hate to see it. That's my Golden Kazoo for this one, Ben.
Yeah, and we got 260 people in here. Get a little like spike going as Riker brought up the Courtside Digest. We revamped the Courtside videos. They're juiced up. Lots of animations, lots of graphics, and a lot more stuff coming. So subscribe to Courtside Digest over there, where it's revamped. It's exciting. We think it fits our niche a lot better, and just our overall video production. We're trying to amp that up on here too, but gotta wait for the new computer to really be able to do it on the lives without crashing my computer. But Riker, no Champagne. I feel Fred VanVleet was just a solid game tonight. I think he had a stretch where he was good hitting threes and all that, but 6 of 18 from the field, missed a lot of shots. But 17 points, 7 assists, steal a block, just an average Fred VanVleet game. Should we just swing it into the final alarm and go off the rails a little bit?
Yep.
Woo 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 woo.
Beep 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 beep.
That's right. The final alarm is going off. The final alarm's going off tonight. And also, I forgot to mention. I have the Kawhi Leonard jersey up behind me. And who is it? Fernando Monterrey reminded me why I had the Kawhi Leonard jersey, because he's a Dub Nation fan, Golden State Warrior, or he's at least looking like in the comment section. Just had to throw this up to remind people who beat the Golden State Warriors in the finals a couple of years ago. Just had to remind people of that after watching this game.
So we got the perfect start. Race Mode Daily coming in with a super chat because we wanted to talk about this and save it for when the final alarm segment was. Let's trade Dragic for Isaiah Stewart, who, if you haven't seen it yet, got into an epic altercation with LeBron James in the Detroit game, Detroit versus Los Angeles Lakers. Jeremy Grant was taking a free throw. LeBron James went to box him out and came back with the elbow. Actually, I thought he clipped him at first with the elbow, but he swung the elbow back and clipped him with the eye, or the finger, which jabbed his eye. And search up the pictures if you haven't seen it. It gouged him. He was bleeding more than a UFC fighter, blood covering his face onto his jersey. But that isn't even what frustrated him. He got up into LeBron's face, kind of casually in his face. LeBron, who's been an infamous cheeser, he loves to talk smack, must have said something insulting because Isaiah Stewart went off his rocker. He had to get restrained once, then he slipped all of the coaches and players.
Killed a coach.
Yep. He barreled through, got back to, I think, DeAndre Jordan. They restrained him a second time. Everybody had to pull him back. Then he played the game and said, I'm cool. Walked almost off the court, then turned around and booked did. For the third time, they had to restrain him all the way into the tunnel. And then as soon as they got into the tunnel, he broke loose and went in. And then all the commentators were like, he's going to run around and come out the other tunnel. And sure enough, all the cops had to race and security guards had to race into the Lakers tunnel. And he came out that way. So they had to put a block to stop him from coming back. So it was wild. It was epic. Maybe we need a gritty guy like that on the team, Ben.
LeBron stopper. We thought it was Damare. We thought it was PJ Tuckin, but all along it was Isaiah Stewart ready to take out LeBron James, LeBronto. But yeah, that was a dirty play by LeBron. He got thrown out of that game as well. But definitely just a wild situation there. Wouldn't mind having a center like that. So shout out to Race Mode Daily for letting us go on that little rant there. But probably cover that on Courtside Digest too. Plug in that left, right, and center. Check out Courtside Digest. But Casey getting thrown around almost. Yeah, that's facts. GSXR Ghost. Because when they were restraining him, like the time that he was on the other side of the court, and then usually when you're that far away from the players, they're fine, they're cooled off a bit. And then he just went like a bull, running straight through people. Right, they were trying to hold him back. Dwayne Casey's like 70 years old, isn't he? He's a lot older than you expect.
Like, check. I got a fact check here.
He looks young and spry and all that, but he's a lot older than you think. And he just got, he was holding it back. There was one coach that got...
he is too. 65.
65, yeah. So he's an older dude, right? And there was another coach that just got trampled by him, right? There was a smaller coach. I don't know if it was a coach or a training staff member, like a chick, just passing him towels, and I thought he was going to push her off and run through. It's something crazy.
Dwayne Casey looks phenomenal for a 65.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Holy, I hope I look as good at 65. This dude, he doesn't look a day over 50.
Yeah, it's it's constantly beating the Raptors with the Pistons. Yeah. Just rejuvenating.
Has put years back onto his life. Exactly.
Hey, this guy's sleeping well as long as he gets his wins against the Toronto Raptors. But
jeez, man. That's something.
Yeah.
Somebody's commenting their appreciation posting my haircut. So thanks.
Good, bro.
Appreciation right back at you.
It looks good. Man,
Get Tangani. What?
Tom Meralt is saying get Banton in there. Yeah, I want Banton to have more minutes. I don't know why he only played 20 minutes in this one.
Well, here's the thing. Bueno Kitty's coming in. Super chat. Shut up. Raptors half-court offense. Hurt. Still. We knew that. That was going to be the big challenge of this season, was that we have a individually defensively talented team, guys that should be able to create transition offense, but we don't have spacers. We knew that Pascal Siakam and Scottie Barnes and Bircher Achua out there all at the same time, that's going to really make our spacing a challenge, and make, obviously with spacing issues, makes all of the half-court offense really highlight their issues. So we knew that was going to be a chore, but what's frustrating is that they're not creating the offensive transition opportunities because the half-court defense has been equally as bad, and there's really no excuse for that when you have such individually talented defenders on the team.
Yeah, that's fair. But he brings energy. He's got the juice. He also cut out there for a little bit on the take, so I'm not sure the full rant that you said there. But this is what happens when you ruin Scottie's confidence. This is a thank you Siakam fanboys. It's tough. I don't think his confidence is ruined by any means. I think he just got hit with some foul trouble, but definitely don't want to get hit by the confidence. Yeah. So you guys think Scottie Barnes is that fragile? Yeah, I agree with Tom. He's definitely not that. He's into it. He had that tough third quarter, and then Nick Nurse just subs him out, which doesn't make any sense. But we got a lot of talks on Scottie Barnes and stuff right now. Man, yeah, people are happy we're back together on the pod. So West Coast road trip has made it tough for both you and I to get these vids out together.
What'd you say? Now we're both cutting out here.
Yeah, the people are happy we're back together on this podcast now. On these on this stuff, Scottie Barnes foul trouble. Yeah, we got a weird debate going on with Scottie Barnes. The what is it, 14-time now Scottie Barnes award winner in the chats happening. I don't know what's happening right here, Riker.
What's the debate? We're cutting out big time here.
Yeah.
We can barely hear each other.
Yeah, Scottie Barnes. They're saying doesn't have that confidence with Siakam back into the games.
Yeah.
I think
People are saying we were overhyping him and we're giving him too much credit. He's definitely not the number one option. Siakam's clearly the number one option, blah, blah, blah. People like to contradict whatever take we have. If we're not criticizing Siakam, they say we should be trading for him. If we say that, if we start criticizing him, then people will come out of the woodworks and say, you guys have no basketball IQ.
But change Riker's name to Jerry?
Jerry Richard, baby. Jerry Richard.
Ooh. Yeah, we got a wild debate happening here. I don't think you or I can hear each other at all right now, so we might have to cut
Might be time to wind it up.
Yeah, and we got a weird happening here. But drop in the like section for the answer to did Scottie Barnes win the Scottie Barnes Award? Oh, Ben and Jerry, that's what Tom's is saying. But shout out Bueno Kitties for dropping in that like section. Get that like spike going. It is it's creeping on 130.
The answer was yes. So the answer is like.
But like the channel, as we said, subscribe to Courtside Digest because or just check it out. Check it out. You don't have to subscribe, but you watch our most recent videos, see if you like the style. Let us know in the comment section anything like changed if you like the style. If not, so we're really excited. We've been working hard to make that real exciting, but we're also pushing for 22k subs on this channel. Which button is it? This one. And we're giving away this hoodie at 22,000 subs. So definitely, if you're in this chat, if you made it this far on the live watch along reaction, watch this the next day, definitely subscribe to the channel. Get this fire hoodie or a chance at it. Sean is saying grow a beard. I would love to grow a beard, but unfortunately I cannot. It's not in my repertoire, so I got to keep the baby face going or else I get that peach fuzz. But Country Kong has said kazoos a few times. We played the kazoos a lot in this game, but you guys are the best to make this far. Check out the Instagram, the TikTok, the Twitter, all that cool stuff. Check out the channel membership, the merch, lots of cool stuff coming. Riker, do you have any last words on this game against Golden State Warriors? Any kazoo words?
I assume you said, Riker, do you have any last words after this game? And my answer has been no words, because this game was pretty awful. Hopefully we have an easy team to play. We need our confidence back. We need the fandom back. That's it, Ben. Cheers.